Good morning, everyone. My name is Yuexi Yang, and the title of my presentation is The Linguistic Fingerprints of Polished Academic Texts, AI versus Human. Our study presents a comparative discourse analysis of two academic interview transcripts, one generated by ChatGPT 4.0 and one authentic human-conducted interview. We found that the AI-produced text was highly cohesive and rhetorically refined, yet it featured significant fabrication. This forces us to critically examine AI-produced writings, stylistic and factual aspects. The key takeaway is critical. Polished rhetoric should not be mistaken for real authorship or intellectual validity. Generative AI tools like ChatGPT do more than just grammar correction. They create logically structured and rhetorically refined content. This has led to new academic integrity issues. We're seeing what is called cognitive outsourcing, where students present well-organized work without meaningful intellectual involvement. Traditional plagiarism detection simply fails to address this. Our project focuses on a distinct form of academic misconduct, fabrication. This is the creation of false facts or stories. AI-generated content poses a challenge because it can assert inaccuracies. It makes up anecdotes and facts with a compelling stylistic confidence. Our goal is to identify how this fabrication manifests at the textual level. Specifically, we asked two questions. First, how can we detect fabrication in AI-produced writing? And second, what are the differences in structure, voice, and rhetorical depth between AI-generated and authentic human interview transcripts? Our comparison centered on transcripts about self-identity and neurodiversity. The AI-generated transcripts was created with a single prompt to produce an interview of a student overcoming low self-esteem. The human transcribed interview was a real conversation held by the researcher in Chinese. We employed a framework combining qualitative discourse analysis and genre theory. Our analysis focused on three key areas: rhetorical organization, looking at structure and coherence; authorial voice, examining tone and emotional depth; and discursive indicators of engagement, such as disfluencies and reflective development. Now, let's look at the distinctive linguistic fingerprints. The differences were profound. The AI transcript had a linear, topic-focused rhetorical progression with clean transitions in turn-taking. The language was formal, with almost no use of fillers. In contrast, the human transcript was fragmented with shifts, turn-taking featured overlapping speech and self-interruptions. The language was informal, and the use of fillers like and was frequent. The quantitative data strongly supports these findings. The slide is the key. The human interviewer asked 17 questions, nearly twice the AI's 10, showing the human tendency to ask follow-up questions. Most strikingly, the human transcript has 37 fillers and 9 interrupted turns. The AI had 0 in both categories. These fillers are markers of real cognitive processing. The AI transcript used 12 metaphorical or stylistic phrases, compared to the human's 1, highlighting the stylized language in the AI output. Finally, the human transcript featured 10 explicit emotional markers, such as crying or laughter, versus only 2 for the AI. The AI's stylistic polish, like a phrase, "we're not an issue to fix, we're a story in progress," implies external editorial shaping. The human transcript, however, showed the speaker processing ideas in real time, with unrefined expressions like, I believe it's not slowly ADHD. I mean, folks sort of, act strangely towards you. This is more intellectually involved. The AI voice was consistent, logical, and fluid, sounding pre-written. For example, the diagnosis wasn't a limitation. It was a language to describe parts of me I didn't have words for. The human voice was dynamic, shifting with emotion and developing collaboratively through dialogue with the interviewer. The human shows uncertainty. I wonder, perhaps it isn't a disability, but I am still not sure. AI's critical engagement was clear and abstract. Difference has a name, a structure, and even a kind of logic. The AI interviewee understands too precisely and too soon. The human transcript, conversely, shows a gradual, embodied reflection, where the speaker revisits and refines earlier themes. They merely accepted me, I mean, they didn't mistreat me, but they also don't treat me equally. This reveals the efforts involved in creating meaning. In summary, the AI's metaphorical paraphrasing, a narrative still developing, shows external polish, while the human's hesitant, I think I'm just like this, reveals inner conflict. In critical reflection, the AI uses abstract themes, but the human data presents raw effects, such as I cried when she said lazy. Maybe I am. The AI projects a complete narrative arc, while the human presents life ambiguity and unresolved questions. This rhetorical fluency is deceptive. The AI generated transcript was stylistically confident, but it concealed a major ethical issue fabrication. Specific, factual information, the interviewee's academic field, personal anecdotes, and emotional growth were completely made up. The paradox is that the text stylistic confidence makes its inaccuracies seems believable, compromising reality for aesthetic appeal. We can now define the AI smell and the human smell. The AI smell is excessive sophistication and unorganized, smooth, narrative arc that understands too well and too early. The human smell is intellectually authentic chaos, disjointed ideas, moments of confusion, and recursive elaboration. This rhetorical flaw exposes the mental and emotional efforts involved in creating meaning. The takeaway is that rhetorical refinement must not be confused with evidence of authorship or originality. Human authorship is a process of knowledge creation, entailing critical involvement and interpretive decisions. AI can imitate fluency, but it cannot experience the process. For assessment, educators must look beyond formal structure and weigh stylistic coherence against factual correctness, the author's perspective, and the cognitive approach. Our core finding is that superficial fluency and coherence do not reliably indicate intellectual engagement or realness. The AI's polished coherence was coupled with invented information. Therefore, detection tools and policies must be enhanced to differentiate rhetorical simulation from real intellectual effort. And the limitations is that this is a pilot study and restricted to a single genre. So, for future research, we need to expand the scope to other genres such as argumentative essays and literature reviews. We also need to investigate how varying degrees of AI participation affect voice and credibility, and if these linguistic fingerprints hold across different languages. In conclusion, the crucial question for the era of generative AI is that what do we prioritize in academic communication? Superficial fluency or real integrity? Organized sophistication or conversational depth? Mechanical precision or the flawed imprint of human reasoning? These decisions will influence how we produce, interpret, and assess knowledge itself. For acknowledgement, I extend gratitude to Professor Victoria Rao, Professor Rosa Reyes, and Miss Amanda Isabella Marjon, and and all conference attendees for the Free Linguistic Conference 2025 in Manila, Philippines, and three anonymous reviewers for their insightful feedback. And all errors remains my own. Thank you.